Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about power. True power. Not the kind you see flaunted on a screen or the kind you see in the movies. I'm talking about real power, the kind that comes from within, the kind that drives you, motivates you, forces you to rise every single day. And that, my friends, is the kind of power I want to talk about today. We often hear about strength, we talk about stamina, endurance, and resilience, but there's something deeper, something more primal that fuels all of that testosterone. Now, I'm not here to talk to you about chemicals or hormones or the biology of what makes you a man. That's not what we're here for. I'm talking about the essence of what testosterone represents, the way it pushes you, challenges you, and forces you to test your limits. I'm talking about the fire in your chest that refuses to let you back down. That voice that whispers when you're about to quit, saying, get up just one more time. Push harder, run faster, fight stronger. Testosterone isn't just about being aggressive, and it's not about being loud or brash or looking for a fight. It's about determination. It's about knowing deep in your gut that you have the ability to control your own destiny. It's about understanding that no one, not your circumstances, not your doubts, not your past, has the power to hold you down unless you let them. Testosterone is what allows you to recognize your own strength, both physical and mental. It's that fire that keeps you in the race when everyone else drops out. It's the thing that makes you relentless in your pursuit of greatness. But here's the truth, just because you have it doesn't mean you know how to use it. We all have it within us, this potential, this raw energy, but it doesn't come without effort. It doesn't come without work. You have to unlock it. You have to take ownership of it. You have to challenge yourself every single day to grow, to become stronger, to get better. That's where most people fail. They expect the strength to come naturally. They think it's something that should just happen because they show up, but that's not the reality. You want to talk about power. Power isn't given. Power isn't handed to you by some higher force. You have to take it. You have to claim it. But to do that, you have to be willing to work. You have to be willing to face your fears and push past them. It's about making a decision that no matter what life throws at you, you will never quit. You will never give up. It's about the willingness to do what others won't, to sacrifice what others won't, to commit to the grind when everyone else is looking for shortcuts. Do you know what testosterone does? It propels you forward. It pushes you to take risks. It's the thing that makes you want to fight for what you believe in, even when everyone else is telling you to stop. It's what makes you show up every day, even when you're tired, even when the world is against you. It makes you take that leap, even though the landing isn't guaranteed. It gives you the courage to do the hard things. And let me tell you, it's the hard things that matter, not the easy ones. The easy ones, the ones that come with no resistance, don't build character. They don't build strength. They don't make you into the person you're meant to be. No, it's the struggle, the setbacks, the failures, the moments when you're staring at the mountain and you don't know if you have enough in you to climb it. That's where the power comes from. That's where you build your mental and emotional muscle. People love to talk about how they want to succeed, but very few are willing to put in the work. Very few are willing to walk the lonely road, the one that's full of obstacles, doubts, and failures. But if you're truly driven, if you're truly tapped into that power, you'll see those obstacles as stepping stones. You'll see those failures not as reasons to stop, but as lessons. And here's the truth, if you can learn from the failure, if you can get back up when life knocks you down, that's when you unlock the true power within you. Testosterone gives you the desire to win, to push, to rise above the noise. But let me tell you, testosterone isn't just about your physicality. It's not just about being tough or strong. It's about mental toughness. It's about your willingness to stay focused when the world around you is falling apart. It's about your ability to stay the course no matter how tough it gets. It's about looking in the mirror at your weaknesses and deciding that they're not going to define you. They're not going to be your story. Because here's what I know. The only thing that stands between you and greatness is your own willingness to work for it. There's no magic pill, no shortcut, no easy road. It's the grit, the grind, the relentless pursuit of improvement that gets you where you want to go. And let me tell you, there will be times when the journey is painful. There will be moments when you feel like you're being stretched beyond what you can handle. But that's when you dig in deeper. That's when you push harder, because you know this, no matter how hard it gets, you can handle it. because you've built yourself up, you've conditioned yourself, you've earned that strength, that resilience, that power. Now, let me tell you about fear. Fear is the number one enemy of your potential. Fear is what holds most people back. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough. But if you can learn to stare fear in the face, if you can learn to walk through the fire, you'll be unstoppable. And let me tell you, testosterone, true testosterone, that deep internal drive doesn't run from fear. It runs straight at it. It challenges it. It says, you may be bigger than me, but I'm faster and I'll outrun you. It's about facing that fear head on and saying, I'm not backing down. Not now, not ever. We've all had those moments when the weight of the world seems too much to bear, when the doubts start creeping in and the temptation to quit becomes so strong. But in those moments, that's when you've got to dig deeper. That's when you've got to tap into that well of power that lies within you. That's when you say, I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm not going to let this defeat me. There's a saying that I've always lived by: when you feel like quitting, remember why you started. Remember why you set out on this journey. Remember why you decided to chase that dream, that goal, that vision. When you keep that in your heart, it doesn't matter how hard things get. It doesn't matter how many obstacles stand in your way. You'll find a way to push through. You'll find a way to keep going. Because success is not about avoiding failure. It's about learning to rise every single time you fall. Every setback is an opportunity to come back stronger. Every challenge is a chance to prove to yourself that you've got what it takes to go further, faster, harder than anyone ever thought possible. So ask yourself, are you willing to fight for your greatness? Are you willing to put in the work day in and day out, even when the road is tough? Are you willing to embrace the struggle, knowing that it will make you stronger? Are you willing to take responsibility for your own life and not wait for someone else to give you what you deserve? Because you have it within you, you have the strength, you have the drive, you have the power to make it happen. But you've got to choose it. You've got to make the decision to go all in, to commit to the process, to embrace the grind, to unlock the power that is already inside you and use it to build the life you deserve. And when you do that, when you make that commitment, when you step up, take control, and fight for what you want, that's when the world starts to move out of your way. That's when you realize that you were never meant to be ordinary. You were never meant to be anything but great. So stand tall, stand strong, and know that the power to create the life you want is already in your hands. The speech emphasizes the power of inner strength fueled by testosterone, not just in physical form, but in mental and emotional toughness. It stresses that true power comes from within and requires consistent effort, resilience, and the willingness to rise above obstacles. Commitment to growth that underscores the importance of continuous self-improvement. Strength is built through hard work, persistence, and the commitment to get better each day, even when faced with failures or setbacks. Fear is identified as the greatest barrier to realizing one's potential. The speech advocates for facing fear head-on, learning from failure, and using challenges as opportunities for growth, encouraging people to never back down. The message highlights the necessity of taking full ownership of one's life and success. It stresses that greatness is not handed to anyone. It must be earned through hard work, dedication, and an unrelenting commitment to one's goals. The speech concludes with a call to embrace the struggle and keep pushing forward even when the journey is tough. It encourages individuals to remember their purpose and keep moving towards their goals, knowing that persistence leads to greatness. Inner strength and resilience are qualities that define the true essence of who we are, especially when faced with adversity. These two elements, strength and resilience, are often misunderstood. Many equate inner strength with being tough, showing no signs of weakness, or being impervious to the challenges life throws at you. However, inner strength is not just about putting on a brave face. It's about understanding that strength comes in many forms: physical, mental, and emotional, and that true strength is not just about how much you can bear, but how much you can overcome. Resilience, on the other hand, is the ability to bounce back from life's trials. It's the quality that allows you to face difficulties, setbacks, and failures without being broken by them. Life is not a linear path. It's filled with highs and lows, moments of success and moments of doubt. But what truly separates those who succeed from those who give up is not just their ability to face difficulty, but their ability to keep moving forward, to stay the course, and to find strength in the struggle. At its core, inner strength is not something you are born with. nor is it something that remains static throughout your life. It is a skill, something that can be developed and cultivated over time. Inner strength is built through experience, through challenges, through the things you go through that test you, stretch you, and ultimately shape you. And resilience is the direct result of developing that inner strength. It's the mindset that no matter how hard life knocks you down, you will rise again. It's the mental toughness that says, I will not be defined by my failures. I will learn from them and rise even stronger. The first step in developing inner strength and resilience is to understand that it's okay to feel pain. It's okay to face difficult moments in your life. It's okay to feel weak or vulnerable at times. These emotions are part of the human experience, and acknowledging them is a crucial part of building inner strength. There is a misconception that strength means never feeling pain or experiencing suffering. But true strength is not about avoiding pain, it's about how you respond to it. The strength lies in your ability to embrace the discomfort, to feel the emotions, and then despite those feelings, to continue moving forward. It's in the moments of vulnerability, of uncertainty, when you're standing on the edge, feeling like you might fall, that your strength is tested. In those moments, resilience is the quiet voice that tells you, this too shall pass, and you are stronger than you realize. It's the ability to acknowledge that failure is not the end. Instead, failure is simply another stepping stone in your journey, a lesson that, if you choose to learn from it, will lead you closer to where you want to go. Building inner strength is a process. It doesn't happen overnight. It requires effort, discipline, and the willingness to confront your weaknesses. It's the ability to push through discomfort, to challenge yourself when you'd rather quit, to stand tall, even when you're feeling small. It's in the moments when you want to give up that inner strength is forged. It's when you are at your lowest that you discover how strong you truly are. When you face adversity and choose to push through, your character is built. The muscle of your soul is strengthened. And with each struggle, you become more resilient, more capable of withstanding whatever life may throw your way. To develop this strength, you must first learn to be patient with yourself. We live in a world that often values instant results and quick fixes. But inner strength doesn't come from shortcuts. It comes from consistent effort and a willingness to face challenges head-on, even when those challenges seem insurmountable. You cannot expect to build resilience without pushing through the hard times. You cannot expect to be mentally tough if you avoid the tough situations. It is through the adversity that you grow, that you evolve, and that you learn to face the world with a stronger mindset. One of the key components of inner strength is the ability to control your own mindset. When life throws you curveballs, when things don't go according to plan, it's easy to fall into a victim mentality. It's easy to blame others or external circumstances for your failures or hardships. But inner strength is about taking responsibility for your life. It's about owning your decisions, your actions, and the consequences that come with them. When you develop this mindset, when you take control of your thoughts and your reactions, you become unstoppable. You realize that your external circumstances do not define you. You are defined by how you choose to respond to them. Resilience is also about adaptability. Life is unpredictable. You cannot control everything that happens to you. There will be times when things fall apart, when plans go awry, when setbacks occur. But resilience is about being able to adapt to those changes, to find a new path, to recalibrate when things don't go as planned. It's about having the mental flexibility to adjust your course, to reframe your perspective, and to keep moving forward no matter what happens. It's the realization that life is full of surprises, and the key to navigating those surprises is not to resist them, but to accept them and learn to thrive within them. A key aspect of building inner strength and resilience is the ability to maintain focus on your goals, even in the face of adversity. It's about having a clear sense of purpose and being unwavering in your pursuit of that purpose, no matter the obstacles in your way. Life will always throw challenges at you, but if you know why you're doing what you're doing, if you have a clear vision of where you're headed, you can push through those challenges with more determination and focus. When your purpose is strong enough, no obstacle will be able to derail you for long. You will find a way around, over or through it. Developing inner strength also requires a deep sense of self-awareness. You must know yourself, your limits, your weaknesses, and your strengths. This self-awareness allows you to understand where you need to improve and where you are already strong. It gives you the insight needed to work on the areas that are holding you back while also leveraging your strengths to move forward. Self-awareness enables you to make better decisions, to know when to push harder and when to step back and recharge. It helps you understand your emotions and reactions, giving you the tools to manage them effectively in difficult situations. Furthermore, inner strength requires the courage to face your fears. Fear is a natural human response to the unknown, to uncertainty. But resilience is about learning to navigate fear without letting it control you. The most successful people are not those who don't feel fear, they are the ones who acknowledge their fear and choose to move forward anyway. They face their fear, look it in the eye, and choose to act in spite of it. That's the heart of resilience. It's about moving forward when it would be so much easier to stay still, when fear tells you to stop. It's about having the courage to take that first step, even if you're unsure what lies ahead. As you continue to build your inner strength, it becomes a part of you. It becomes a foundation upon which you can build your life. And with that foundation comes resilience, the ability to handle whatever life throws your way. When you have built inner strength and resilience, you begin to realize that nothing is impossible. The tough times become easier to face. The obstacles become more manageable. The setbacks become opportunities for growth. You begin to understand that life's challenges are not meant to break you, they are meant to shape you into the person you were always meant to be. True resilience doesn't just mean bouncing back after hardship. It means thriving after hardship. It means that the struggles you faced only make you stronger, more capable, and more confident in your ability to face whatever is next. And as you continue to grow, as you continue to build your inner strength and resilience, you'll find that no challenge is too great, no obstacle is too difficult. Because with each passing day, you become more powerful, more focused, and more determined to live the life you deserve. Commitment to growth is one of the most powerful and transformative decisions you can make in your life. It is the foundation upon which everything else is built, the catalyst for change, progress, and ultimate success. Yet it is often misunderstood or dismissed by those who don't fully grasp its significance. Commitment to growth is not simply about improvement, it is about creating a mindset, a way of being that allows you to constantly evolve, challenge yourself, and push your limits. When you commit to growth, you are making the conscious decision to evolve as a person, to strive for something greater than what you currently are. It's not about settling for mediocrity or accepting things the way they are because they seem comfortable. Growth requires you to challenge yourself, to step out of your comfort zone, and to confront the unknown with courage. It's about seeing potential in yourself that maybe others can't see yet, and then going after it with everything you've got. That's the real power of commitment, to see where you can go and then dedicate yourself to getting there. Commitment to growth starts with a clear vision of where you want to go. Without that vision, you're simply moving through life without direction. And without direction, growth becomes difficult. You need to know why you're pushing forward, what you want to achieve, and how much you're willing to give to reach your potential. The commitment comes from your desire to better yourself, to strive for excellence, and to dedicate yourself to the process of becoming the best version of who you are. This vision is what keeps you grounded when things get tough, and it helps you stay focused when obstacles arise. However, commitment to growth doesn't mean that the path will be easy. In fact, growth often comes with pain, discomfort, and challenges. It's about recognizing that the struggle is part of the journey. It's about being willing to do what's necessary, even when it's hard, because you know that growth comes from overcoming adversity. If you want to grow, you can't take the easy route. You can't avoid the difficult times or the hard lessons. The struggle, the failure, the setbacks, all of those are the building blocks of growth. Every time you face a challenge and keep going, you strengthen your ability to push forward. And every time you overcome an obstacle, you become more resilient. Commitment to growth also means taking responsibility for your progress. It means understanding that your success or failure is ultimately in your hands. This doesn't mean that you are solely responsible for every circumstance, but it does mean that you are responsible for how you respond to those circumstances. If you want to grow, you can't sit back and wait for things to change. You have to take the initiative. You have to be proactive about your learning, your development, and your evolution. This responsibility comes with accountability. It's about making sure that you are consistently working towards your goals and improving every day. You can't just talk about wanting to grow. You have to take action, and that action needs to be focused and intentional. One of the hardest parts of commitment to growth is the requirement for consistency. Growth doesn't happen overnight. It's not about taking one big leap and expecting everything to change. No, it's about showing up every single day, putting in the work, and making incremental progress. This is where most people fall short. They expect quick results, and when they don't see immediate change, they get discouraged. But growth is a process. And that process requires you to stay committed day after day, week after week, month after month. It means doing the work even when you don't feel like it. It means continuing to push forward even when progress seems slow. Because real growth is not about dramatic change overnight. It's about the steady accumulation of small efforts that add up over time. Another key aspect of commitment to growth is developing a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that you can always improve, learn, and develop no matter where you are in life. It's the understanding that you are never stuck, that there is always room for progress, and that failure is not an endpoint but a learning opportunity. With a growth mindset, you see challenges as opportunities to learn, not as obstacles that prevent you from succeeding. You approach every task, every challenge, and every opportunity with the belief that you can get better. This mindset is essential for long-term growth because it keeps you motivated even when the road is tough. Growth requires self-awareness. In order to grow, you need to have a clear understanding of who you are right now, the strengths and weaknesses, the habits and behaviors that make you who you are. Self-awareness is the foundation for making meaningful change because it helps you understand where you need to improve. It allows you to identify areas where you may be holding yourself back or where you might be wasting time and energy. Without self-awareness, you might be running in circles, putting in effort, but not making any real progress. But when you are aware of who you are, you can take targeted action to improve the specific areas that will have the greatest impact on your life. Commitment to growth also requires the courage to step into the unknown. Growth doesn't happen when you play it safe. If you want to grow, you have to be willing to take risks, to try new things, and to push yourself beyond what you think you are capable of. This can be frightening. The fear of failure, the fear of not being good enough can paralyze you if you let it. But growth is never achieved by avoiding fear. It's achieved by embracing it. The most successful people in the world are not those who have avoided failure. They are those who have failed over and over again, gained from those failures and kept going. Growth requires you to be comfortable with discomfort, to lean into the uncertainty, and to trust in the process. As you commit to growth, you will face moments of doubt, frustration, and fear. There will be times when you question whether it's all worth it, when you wonder if you're making any progress at all. In those moments, it's important to remember why you started and to trust that the work you're putting in is paying off, even if the results aren't immediately visible. The journey to growth is not linear. It's full of twists and turns, ups and downs, and moments when it feels like you're not moving forward at all. But if you stay the course, if you continue to push through the hard times, you will come out on the other side stronger, wiser, more capable than you ever imagined. Commitment to growth also involves the ability to stay flexible and adaptable. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes the path you envision for yourself will change. There will be unexpected opportunities, challenges, and detours along the way. When you are committed to growth, you learn to embrace these changes rather than resist them. You see them as part of the process, as opportunities to learn, grow, and adjust your course. Flexibility allows you to take advantage of new opportunities and to learn valuable lessons from experiences that you didn't anticipate. It keeps you open-minded and willing to adapt when necessary. It's also important to understand that growth doesn't happen in isolation. While personal growth is in many ways an individual journey, it is also shaped by the people around you. The relationships you cultivate, the mentors you seek out, the feedback you receive, these all play a significant role in your growth. No one grows in a vacuum. You need support, guidance, and encouragement along the way. This means that commitment to growth also involves surrounding yourself with people who will challenge you, inspire you, and help you stay on track. Seek out those who can offer constructive criticism, who will hold you accountable, and who will push you to be better. Sometimes the people around you can be the catalyst for growth, offering new perspectives, ideas, and resources that you wouldn't have considered on your own. As you continue on your journey of growth, it's important to celebrate your progress, no matter how small. It's easy to focus solely on the end result, on the goal that you haven't reached yet. But if you don't take time to appreciate how far you've come, you may miss the significance of the journey itself. Growth is not just about achieving an end goal. It's about the transformation that happens along the way. Recognizing your progress, celebrating your victories, and acknowledging the hard work you've put in will keep you motivated and inspired to continue. It will remind you of the progress you've made, even on the days when it feels like you haven't moved forward at all. The commitment to growth is one of the most powerful decisions you can make because it is the foundation of everything that follows. When you are truly committed to growth, you are not just waiting for success to come to you. You are actively pursuing it every single day. It's not about having all the answers. It's about having the courage to keep asking questions, to keep striving, to keep evolving. And when you make that commitment, when you truly dedicate yourself to becoming better, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Fear is an emotion that can paralyze, restrict, and hold us back from realizing our full potential. It is a powerful force, often rooted in the unknown, in the uncertainties that come with taking risks or stepping outside of our comfort zones. Fear is not just a reaction, it's a psychological barrier that keeps us from taking the steps necessary to reach new heights, pursue our dreams, and unlock the greatness within us. But fear, as overwhelming as it may seem, is not something we are powerless against. In fact, it is through the process of overcoming fear that we build strength, resilience, and the confidence to pursue what we truly want in life. Understanding fear is the first step in overcoming it. Fear often arises from the anticipation of something we cannot control or predict. It may be rooted in past experiences where we have failed, faced rejection, or encountered pain. These past events shape our beliefs about what may happen in the future, leading us to avoid situations where we feel vulnerable or uncertain. But fear, in its purest form, is simply a projection of our minds. It's a vision of the future that we have created in our heads, often worse than what reality will be. The problem is that when we live in that place of fear, we allow it to dictate our decisions, our actions, and our behavior. In order to overcome fear, we must first acknowledge it. It's easy to dismiss fear, to hide from it, or to pretend it doesn't exist. But doing so only strengthens its hold on us. Fear doesn't go away just because we ignore it. In fact, the more we push it aside, the more it grows in power, controlling our thoughts and our actions in subtle ways. Fear thrives in the dark, in the silence of denial, but it can lose its grip when we shine a light on it. When we face it head on, acknowledge its presence, and accept that it's a normal part of the human experience, we begin to take away its power. We realize that fear does not define us or our ability to act. It is simply a natural reaction to the unknown. Once we've acknowledged fear, we need to shift our mindset around it. Instead of seeing fear as something to be avoided, we must begin to see it as something to be embraced. Fear is often a sign that we are on the cusp of growth, that we are about to challenge ourselves in ways we never have before. It is an indicator that we are moving out of our comfort zone and into a space where transformation is possible. Fear, in this sense, becomes a compass pointing us toward the very thing that will help us grow. If we are afraid of something, it is likely because it matters to us, because it challenges us to step into a new chapter of our lives. To overcome fear, we must reframe it. Instead of seeing fear as something that limits us, we can view it as something that motivates us, something that pushes us to rise to the occasion. Think about the moments in your life when you were afraid but pushed through anyway. Perhaps it was the first time you spoke in public, the first time you applied for a job, or the first time you stood up for something you believed in. In those moments, you probably felt the tight grip of fear, but you also felt something else, the exhilaration of overcoming it. Fear, in these instances, was not a barrier, it was the fuel that propelled you forward, the adrenaline that gave you the courage to act despite the fear. One of the key ways to overcome fear is to break it down into smaller, more manageable parts. Often, fear arises from the idea that we have to face something huge and insurmountable, something that feels overwhelming. But when we break that fear down into smaller steps, it becomes less intimidating. Instead of thinking about the end result or the entire process, focus on taking one step at a time. Each small step you take toward confronting your fear makes it less powerful. By focusing on the present moment rather than the entire journey, you can reduce the anxiety that fear causes. When you start to move forward, even in small ways, you begin to build momentum. And with that momentum comes confidence. In addition to breaking fear down into manageable steps, we must also learn to take action despite it. Action is the antidote to fear. The longer we wait, the more time fear has to grow. Fear often thrives in inaction, feeding on our doubts and uncertainties. But when we take action, even if it's imperfect or incomplete, we disrupt fear's hold on us. Each time we act, we prove to ourselves that we are capable, that we can move forward regardless of our fears. And as we continue to take action, we begin to change our relationship with fear. We realize that fear does not stop us from moving forward unless we allow it to. By consistently taking action, we train ourselves to push through fear, making it less of an obstacle and more of a challenge to be conquered. Another important aspect of overcoming fear is reframing failure. Many of us fear failure because we view it as a reflection of our inadequacy, as proof that we are not good enough. But failure is not the enemy, it is a necessary part of growth. When we fail, we learn. We gain experience, insight, and understanding that we would not have obtained otherwise. Failure teaches us valuable lessons that success cannot. In fact, failure is often a sign that we are pushing the boundaries of our comfort zone, that we are trying new things, and that we are learning and growing. By reframing failure as a natural and essential part of the journey, we can approach fear with a sense of curiosity rather than avoidance. Instead of fearing failure, we can embrace it as an opportunity to grow and improve. Overcoming fear also requires a shift in perspective. Often, fear stems from the idea that something terrible will happen if we take a certain action. We imagine the worst-case scenario and let that image paralyze us. But the reality is that most of our fears are exaggerated. The things we fear rarely come to pass, and when they do, they are often not as bad as we imagined. By shifting our perspective and considering the best possible outcome rather than the worst, we begin to see fear for what it truly is, a mental construct. A story we tell ourselves that doesn't always reflect reality. When we stop giving power to the worst-case scenario, we open ourselves up to the possibility that taking action could lead to something positive, something life-changing. A key part of overcoming fear is building confidence. Confidence is the belief in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. It is the recognition that you are capable, resourceful, and resilient. When you have confidence, fear no longer has the same power over you. It becomes just another challenge to face, another obstacle to overcome. Confidence is built over time through small wins, through taking action and proving to yourself that you can handle difficult situations. The more you face your fears and take action, the more confident you become. And the more confident you are, the less power fear has to hold you back. In addition to building confidence, surrounding yourself with supportive people is crucial to overcoming fear. Fear often thrives in isolation, when we feel alone with our thoughts and doubts. But when we have a support system, a network of people who believe in us, who encourage us, and who challenge us, fear becomes less daunting. These people remind us of our strength, help us see our potential, and offer the support we need to keep going. The fear of failure is often less intimidating when we know we have a team of people behind us cheering us on. By building a support system, we can take the weight off our shoulders and face our fears with the reassurance that we are not alone. It is also important to practice self-compassion when overcoming fear. Often we are our own harshest critics, and when fear arises, we may judge ourselves for feeling afraid. But fear is a natural response to uncertainty and challenges. It does not make us weak or incapable, it makes us human. By practicing self-compassion, we can acknowledge our fear without judgment, without shaming ourselves for feeling the way we do. When we accept our fear with kindness, we give ourselves permission to move through it with greater ease and less resistance. Self-compassion allows us to face fear from a place of strength rather than self-criticism. Overcoming fear is not about eliminating it altogether. It is about learning how to respond to it in a way that allows us to move forward. Fear will always be a part of our lives. but it doesn't have to control us. When we learn to face our fears with courage, to take action despite them, and to reframe failure as a part of the growth process, we begin to shift our relationship with fear. Instead of allowing fear to hold us back, we can use it as a tool to propel us forward. When we do this, we free ourselves from the limitations that fear imposes and open ourselves up to the infinite possibilities that exist on the other side of it. Fear will no longer be the barrier it once was. It will become the gateway to our greatest achievements. Taking responsibility is one of the most empowering actions you can take in your life. It's a decision to step up and own your choices, your actions, and the impact you have on the world around you. In many ways, it's the foundation of personal growth, because without taking responsibility, you remain stuck, unable to fully realize your potential or make the changes needed to lead the life you truly desire. Responsibility is not just about acknowledging your mistakes or recognizing your faults. It's about claiming your power to create change and drive your future. Too often, people fall into the trap of blaming others for their circumstances or deflecting responsibility when things go wrong. It can feel easier to point fingers, to say, it's not my fault, or I couldn't help it, because it takes the pressure off you. But when you do that, you relinquish control over your life. You give away your power and let external factors, circumstances, or other people dictate your actions. When you take responsibility, you regain control. You stop being a passive bystander and start being the active creator of your life. It's through responsibility that you can truly change your destiny and begin to build the life you want. Taking responsibility begins with understanding that your choices matter. Every single decision you make shapes your life in some way, big or small. Whether it's choosing to get up early to work towards your goals, deciding how you react to challenges, or taking responsibility for the way you treat others, all of these choices matter. They compound over time, creating the path you walk down. If you are not happy with the direction of your life, it's important to look at the choices you have made and recognize that you have the power to make different ones. Taking responsibility for your choices means acknowledging that you are the one who determines your life's trajectory. When you take responsibility for your life, you also take responsibility for your feelings. Often people fall into the trap of blaming others for how they feel. They might say, he made me angry, or she hurt my feelings, as if someone else has control over their emotions. The truth is that no one can make you feel anything without your consent. You have the power to decide how you react to situations. While you cannot always control what happens to you, you can control how you respond. Taking responsibility for your emotions means recognizing that you have the power to manage them, to choose how to react, and to develop emotional intelligence that helps you navigate challenges. It's about understanding that you are the one who is responsible for how you perceive and respond to the world. Responsibility also involves taking ownership of your personal growth. Personal development doesn't happen by accident. It takes effort, intention, and most importantly, responsibility. You are the only person who can drive your growth. It's easy to fall into the trap of waiting for someone else to guide you, motivate you, or tell you what to do. But the truth is, your growth is your responsibility. If you want to get better at something, if you want to reach new heights, it's up to you to take action. No one is going to do the work for you. This doesn't mean you have to do it alone, but it does mean you have to take the first step. You must decide that you are going to put in the work to improve yourself, learn new things, and grow into the person you want to become. Taking responsibility also involves being honest with yourself. It's easy to hide from the truth, to make excuses, or to convince yourself that everything is fine when it's not. But true personal growth comes from the willingness to confront the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. This means looking at your weaknesses and being honest about areas where you need to improve. It means accepting responsibility for the things you have done or failed to do, and recognizing the role you've played in the outcomes of your life. It's about holding yourself accountable for the decisions you've made and understanding that you are capable of making better ones moving forward. When you take responsibility for your life, you are able to see yourself clearly without the distortion of excuses or denial. This self-awareness is the key to making lasting change. One of the most difficult aspects of taking responsibility is accepting that your actions have consequences. Every choice you make, every action you take has an impact on the world around you. Sometimes the consequences are positive, sometimes they're negative. but they are always there. Taking responsibility means recognizing that your actions have a ripple effect and you are responsible for how your actions influence others. This means being aware of how your behavior affects the people in your life, your family, your friends, your coworkers, and even strangers. It's about understanding that your words and actions matter and being conscious of the impact you are having. When you take responsibility for your actions, you start to live with greater intention. You start to think before you act, knowing that every action you take can either move you closer to your goals or push you further away. Taking responsibility also involves letting go of the need for perfection. Perfectionism often arises from a fear of failure, and it can paralyze you from taking action. You may feel like you have to do everything perfectly, and if you can't, then you don't even try. But perfection is an illusion. No one is perfect, and the pursuit of perfection can keep you stuck in a cycle of procrastination and self-doubt. When you take responsibility, you accept that mistakes are a natural part of life and they don't define you. In fact, mistakes are some of the most valuable learning experiences you will ever have. They provide the lessons you need to grow and improve. Taking responsibility for your actions means owning up to your mistakes, learning from them, and using them to become better. Responsibility is not just about what you do, it's also about who you are. It's about the way you carry yourself, the values you live by, and the integrity you maintain. When you take responsibility for who you are, you choose to live in alignment with your highest values. You don't let external pressures dictate your choices. You decide for yourself what kind of person you want to be. This means being true to your values, even when it's difficult. It means standing firm in your beliefs and not compromising your integrity for the sake of convenience or approval. Taking responsibility for your character means taking ownership of how you show up in the world, both in public and in private. It means being accountable for your words, your actions, and the impact you have on others. Another key aspect of responsibility is owning your time. Time is one of the most precious resources we have, and once it's gone, we can never get it back. Taking responsibility for your time means being intentional with how you spend it. It means choosing to invest your time in things that align with your goals and values, rather than wasting it on distractions or things that don't matter. When you take responsibility for your time, you become more productive, focused, and efficient. You stop letting life happen to you and start creating the life you want. You prioritize what matters most and let go of the things that drain your energy. Time management is a critical skill that requires responsibility. It's about being disciplined and accountable to yourself for how you spend your days, weeks, and months. Taking responsibility also involves accepting the inevitability of change. Life is constantly changing, and the world around you is in a constant state of flux. You cannot control everything, but you can control how you respond to change. Taking responsibility for change means embracing it rather than resisting it. It means being adaptable, flexible, and open to new possibilities. Change can be uncomfortable, but it is often necessary for growth. By taking responsibility for how you navigate change, you equip yourself with the resilience and adaptability needed to thrive in an ever-changing world. Responsibility is also a powerful tool for overcoming fear. Often we fear what we don't understand, what is beyond our control, or what we feel unprepared for. But when you take responsibility, you realize that you have the ability to control your response to fear. Fear doesn't have to paralyze you. It can be a signal to step up and take action. When you own your actions and your choices, fear becomes less about what might happen and more about what you are willing to do in the face of it. Responsibility allows you to face fear head on, knowing that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. Finally, taking responsibility creates a sense of empowerment. It's about recognizing that you are the one who holds the keys to your future. When you take responsibility for your life, you stop being a victim of circumstances. You stop waiting for someone else to make things happen for you. Instead, you step into your power and realize that you have the ability to create the life you desire. Responsibility is liberating because it gives you control over your destiny. It's not about blaming others or waiting for things to change. It's about taking charge of your own path and creating the life you want to live. Taking responsibility is not always easy, but it is one of the most important things you can do for your personal growth and your future. It's about owning your actions, your decisions, and the impact you have on the world. When you take responsibility, you empower yourself to make change, face challenges, and create the life you want. It's not about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about being accountable, taking action, and doing the best you can. Responsibility is the foundation upon which all success is built. It's the key to unlocking your full potential and stepping into the life you deserve. Perseverance is a force that drives us forward when everything within us tells us to stop. It's the quiet, steadfast determination to continue moving toward our goals, even when the road is long, difficult, and uncertain. Life is filled with challenges, setbacks, and obstacles that can make us question whether we're on the right path. At times, the journey feels overwhelmingly hard, and the temptation to quit can seem all-consuming. But it is in these moments when everything seems stacked against us that perseverance becomes the most powerful tool we have. It's the strength that carries us when we feel like we have nothing left to give. It's the refusal to be defeated by failure, the belief that despite everything, we can still succeed. Perseverance is not just a characteristic, it is a mindset, a choice, a commitment to moving forward no matter the circumstances. When we talk about perseverance, we are talking about the ability to keep going despite adversity. Every person faces adversity in some form, whether it's personal struggles, financial hardship, physical challenges, or emotional setbacks. These difficulties can feel overwhelming and at times can make us question our abilities or our worth. But perseverance is what keeps us moving forward, even when the weight of our problems feels unbearable. It is the quiet voice that says, keep going, even when all you can see is the next hurdle. It reminds us that success is often the result of sustained effort over time, and it is through perseverance that we unlock our potential. There is no question that challenges are part of life. It is how we respond to those challenges that determines the outcome of our journey. While some might choose to give up or resign themselves to their circumstances, those who persevere take ownership of their path. They may stumble, fall, or feel defeated, but they always rise again. Perseverance is the refusal to be defined by setbacks. It is not about ignoring pain or pretending that obstacles do not exist. It's about facing those obstacles with courage, finding the strength to continue, and realizing that each challenge is a step on the road to success. Without perseverance, the obstacles would become insurmountable. But with perseverance, every setback becomes a stepping stone. One of the key aspects of perseverance is the ability to endure hardship without losing sight of the bigger picture. Often, when we face difficulties, we become so fixated on the immediate pain or the immediate obstacle that we lose sight of why we started in the first place. It's easy to get discouraged when progress feels slow, when things don't go as planned, or when we feel like we're working harder than ever and still not seeing results. But true perseverance requires that we stay focused on the end goal, even when the path is unclear. We must learn to trust the process, knowing that even small incremental progress is still progress. It's easy to give up when things are hard, but the people who persevere understand that success doesn't come overnight. It's the result of continuous effort, even when the fruits of that effort aren't immediately visible. They understand that it's not the setbacks or the obstacles that define their journey, but their ability to keep moving forward. Perseverance is also about resilience, the ability to bounce back after being knocked down. Life has a way of throwing curveballs, and it's easy to become discouraged when things don't go as planned. However, it is in those moments of failure or hardship that perseverance truly shines. When we experience setbacks, we have two choices: to stay down or to get back up. Resilience is what allows us to rise again after we fall. It's the understanding that failure is not the end, but merely a part of the process. Resilient people don't view failure as a reflection of their abilities, but rather as an opportunity to learn and grow. They use failure as fuel to push forward, knowing that the road to success is paved with perseverance and resilience. The ability to bounce back from adversity is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up. It's important to note that perseverance is not about brute force or sheer willpower. It's about being strategic, flexible, and adaptable. The journey toward a goal is rarely a straight line. There will be unexpected detours, roadblocks, and moments of doubt, but those who persevere are willing to adapt and adjust their approach when things don't go as planned. They understand that flexibility is essential to overcoming challenges. Sometimes perseverance means taking a step back, reassessing the situation, and finding a new way forward. It's not about stubbornly pursuing a path that clearly isn't working, but about adjusting your approach while still holding on to your ultimate goal. Perseverance requires both tenacity and wisdom, the wisdom to know when to push forward and when to change direction. Perseverance is also about consistency. The ability to maintain a steady, unwavering commitment to your goal, even when progress seems slow or non-existent, is a hallmark of perseverance. It's easy to be motivated when everything is going well, when success feels just around the corner. But the real test of perseverance comes during those times when progress is invisible, when the work feels like it's not paying off. It's in these moments of uncertainty that the power of consistency becomes clear. Every action you take, no matter how small, is a step toward your goal. Consistency is about showing up every day, doing the work, even when you don't see immediate results. It's about the long game, the understanding that success is built over time, and that the cumulative effect of consistent effort is what leads to extraordinary results.